Let us review our answers um, by factoring. So for number 1, x squared plus 7x is equals to 0. So we need to factor out the common term in this equation. So the common for x squared and 7x is x. So that would be x times x plus 7. So from this, we can equate, or we can make two equations. So the other one is automatically x is equals to 0. And the other one is x plus 7 is equals to 0. Now, the next thing to do is to transpose positive 7 to the other side of the equal sign, to the right hand side. And that would be x is equals to negative 7. So for number 2, x squared plus 5x minus 14 is equals to 0. So the rule is we need to find the factors of negative 14 that if multiplied will result to negative 14, of course, and if added will result to the numerical coefficient of the second term, which is 5. So for negative 14, so first factor is 1 and negative 14, because since it's negative, so we're sure that either of those factors is negative. So first factor, 1 and negative 14, but if you're going to add that, that will not result to positive 5. So next, negative 1 and negative 14, same, it will not result to, if added, will not result to 5. Negative 7 and 2, if added, it will result to negative 5, so that's not it. So the last factor that's possible, or the correct factor that we're going to use, is 7 and negative 2. Because if you're going to multiply that, 7 times negative 2, it's negative 14, correct? And if you're going to add that, that's 7 plus negative 2, that would be 5. So this is the correct factor. So we're going to use that factor. So that's x plus 7, or those factors, x plus 7 times x minus 2 is equals to 0. So we're going to equate that to 0. Now it will become x plus 7 is equals to 0. Then transpose to the other side of the equal sign. So to get the first value of the x, that's x is equals to negative 7. So the second value, x minus 2, is equals to 0. Then transpose to the other side, the negative 2, then that would be x is equals to 2. Now, for you to verify if the value that you got, or the value of x that you got, is correct, you need to do checking. So first, you substitute the values of x to the original equation. So the original equation is x squared plus 5x minus 14 is equals to 0. So let's try negative 7 for this example. First, negative 7 square plus 5, this is 5, and then times negative 7 minus 14 is equals to 0. So negative 7 square, or that would be negative 7 times negative 7, that would be positive 49. Then negative 5 times negative 7, that's negative 35. And minus 14 is equals to 0. So that would be 49 minus 49 is equals to 0. So x is equals to negative 7 is correct. So same thing applies to x is equals to 2. You just need to substitute 2 to the original equation for the value of x. Alright, for number 3, equation is m squared plus 8m is equals to negative 16. So it is not in the standard form, or the standard form for the quadratic equation. So standard would be ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0. So this one, for this to be in standard form, you need to transpose negative 16 to the other side of the equal sign, so that would become positive 16. So what are the factors of positive 16? So we have here 1 and 16. So 1 times 16, that would be 16. But if added, it will not result to the second term, which is 8. So we have to try other factors. So same thing with negative 1 times negative 16. It will not result to 8 if added. Next, negative 4 times negative 4, that's 16. But if added, that would result to negative 8. So that's not it. So the correct factor that we're going to use, or that we need to use, is this one, 4, positive 4, and positive 4. If multiplied, will result to 16. And if added, will result to 8, which is the second term. Alright, so from that, that would become m plus 4 times m plus 4 is equals to 0. Now, from this equation, we can create two equations. Equate both equations to 0. So that's m plus 4 is equals to 0. And then transpose 4 to the right hand side of the equal sign. So that would become m is equals to negative 4. So it's the same for the other factor. That would become also m is equals to negative 4. So same thing applies for you to check and verify if your answer is correct. You just have to substitute the value of m to the original equation. Alright, for number 4, 2y squared plus 8y minus 10 is equals to 0. So this time, there is a numerical coefficient for y squared, which is 2. So, no need to worry about that. All you need to do is to use 2y, and the other one would be y. And then if you're going to multiply that, that will result to 2y squared. So, let's check. Let's first get the factors of negative 10. So, negative 10, to get negative 10, you have to multiply 1 and negative 10. That will result to negative 10. But if you're going to add that factor, it will not result to positive 8. So we need to find the other factors. Negative 1 and negative 10 will not result also to 8. So this one, next factor would be negative 2 and 5. Positive 5, then, or 2 and negative 5. So if we're going to check the value of the second term, this is positive. So that means that the right factor that we're going to use would be this one, because if we're going to check or do a trial and error checking, that would be negative 2y times y, that's 2y times y, that will result to 2y squared. Next, negative 2 times 5, that would be negative 10. Check. Then to verify the second term, we need to multiply outer and outer, so that would be 10y. 2y times 5, 10y, and negative 2 times y, that would be negative 2y. Now, if you're going to combine similar terms, or you're just going to add that because they both have the variable y, that would result to 8y. So this is the correct factor to use. Negative 2 and 5. So let's equate that to 0. So that's 2y minus 2 is equals to 0. And the other one is y plus 5 is equals to 0. For this side, you just need to transpose it directly to the other side. So that's y is equals to negative 5. Because if you're going to transpose this and or transfer it to the other side of the equal sign, the sign of positive 5 will change to negative 5. Now for this one, the other equation, 2y minus 2 is equals to 0, you just need to transpose 2 to the other side of the equal sign. So that will become, from negative, that will become positive 2. And then 2y is equals to 2. Then to get the second value of y, you need to remove the numerical coefficient of y. So all you need to do is to divide it to the constant 2 at the other side. So that would be y is equals to 2 over 2, and that would be 1. So same thing applies. You just need to substitute the value of y to the original equation for you to check your answer. And for our last example, this is 4x squared plus 20x plus 25 is equals to 0. So we need to get the factor of 25. So that would be 1 times 25. But if you're going to add that, will not result to 20. So that's not it. Same thing with this one. So next would be 5 and 5. That will result to positive 5 times positive 5 will result to positive 25. And negative 5 times negative 5 will result to negative 25. Oh, sorry. To positive 25, sorry. And then, but since the second term is positive, so there's a big chance that this one would be the right factor. But to do that, you need to check. So this would become 2x times 2x, that would be 2x squared. Then 5 times 5, that would be positive 25. Now for the second term, 2x times 5, that would be plus 10x. And 2x times 5 is also another 10x. So that would be 20x. So same with the original equation. So this is the right factor to use. So that would be 2x plus 5 is equals to 0. Same with the other side. Then transpose positive 5 to the other side of the equal sign. So that's negative 5 now. And then divide it with the numerical coefficient of x. So that would be x is equals to negative 5 halves. So this would be your value of x for both sides, or the two values of x.